Afternoon, Fix-It fans. So this afternoon I am going to attempt to put the old Marantz PM-48 back together, because as you can see it's looking very sorry for itself at the moment. This old Marantz, it is stripped right down and it is looking in rather a bad state. When it didn't, the other day, this Marantz looked really good before I done this to it. But it did need to come apart, because I've been right through this one, fault finding with it, and I did find quite a lot of problems with this Marantz. So hopefully they have all been put right, and there is a chance that when this Marantz goes back together, it might actually work. I'm giving it a 50-50 because I did find quite a few faults with it. And when I got this Marantz, it did not power up, it didn't do anything. But I have found a few things that would have stopped it powering up, so hopefully when it all goes back together and I plug it in, this Marantz might be working. Well, as long as I can remember how it goes back together, because it has been like 3 days since I took this one apart, because I've done it all with deoxit. It's had 3 days sitting like this, drying right out, and in them 3 days I have had quite a lot of beers, because there has been Friday night and Saturday night, and then today I have been to a car boot sale and we stopped at the pub on the way home. So let me get in now and let's crack on with the rebuilding of the Marantz PM-48 amplifier. And this is a part 3 video. I've already done 2 videos on this Marantz, one where I stripped it down, one where I went right through it and gave it a good deoxing, and then now I'm doing this one. Right, so that's the faceplate. I can remember where that goes. That bit goes on the front. That part there, that is the balance control. So what else we got laying down here? Right, these are the knobs. I remember where they go. So let's move the knobs out of the way. Then I've got a load of screws sitting here. I shall collect them up so they don't drop on the floor. Put them to one side. Them gold screws, they are all the ones that go in the board. And that part there, that is my beer bottle top, because I've just opened a beer, so I best remember that that part does not go in it. That is the on-off switch front, and that is a little bracket that holds in the headphone socket. So I can remember where them bits go. Right, what else we got here? That is the power lead, and I cut the plug off of that because the plug was terrible. I've got a new plug to fit on that in a minute. Right, so let's do this. So what do I need to do first? And I want to try and do this quick, because like I said, we've just got back from the boot fair and the pub, and as soon as we got in, I have come to do this, and James and my missus have gone out to the kitchen and they are cooking a nice roast chicken dinner. So I literally have got the time it takes them to cook dinner to put this Marantz back together, because after dinner I want to listen to some tunes, chill out and have a few beers, and to do that I need the Marantz gone off my table. So I want to try and get this Marantz back together before dinner is ready. So here we go, that is the front panel. And I've got to be careful with this, because that circuit board there is really fragile. It's really brittle, because you've got to think this Marantz is from 1996, so all the plastic on this has gone really brittle and will break really easy. So I need to be really careful putting this front back together, because I really don't want to break this Marantz now. I like this old amp, and I do think there's a good chance that this one might be working now. So let's be nice and careful and gentle putting this board back in. And there's something there stopping it going down. That's not lined up properly. something just stopping it, not seating properly, that bolt. I don't want to force it. And there might be something trapped down behind it. Could be a little wire down there or something. I can't see nothing that looks like it's behind it, but it's definitely not seating properly. Maybe it's just caught on one of the pots. Right, here we go. That felt better then. That feels like it's gone in there now. So let's turn it over again and have another look at it, see if it's located properly at the back. I'm just going to disconnect a couple of leads off of it and then I can lay the faceplate right down. Right, let's get that second lead out. There you go. Let's lay the faceplate down. And that does feel like it's seated properly now, so let's get some screws in it. And there's a load of screws that hold this faceplate on, so I shall put them all in and then tighten them up nice and gently. Be careful, I don't over tighten none, because you could easily crack this board by putting the screws back in too tight. And like I said, we went boot fair this morning. Me and my missus was up 6 o'clock this morning and went car booting. And Lazy James was meant to be coming with us. He said he'd be up and ready and we'd pick him up about 6:45. Hang on, I've just dropped a screw. Oh no, it's gone down behind the board. Right, that's it. It's back out. Yeah, so I knocked on James's door 6:45 this morning because he said he was coming car boot, but there was no answer. So I rung his phone and got no answer from that. So Lazy James was still fast asleep in bed. And then he rung me about 10:30. And he went, "Oh, I thought you was going car boot today." I went, "James, I am here." He went, "Oh, didn't you come round for me?" I went, "James, I was banging on your door and ringing your phone at 6:45 this morning, mate." He went, "Oh, my alarm went off, but I just turned it off and went back to sleep." He went, "Sorry about that." He said, "I'll make it up to you. Come and pick me up on the way home and I'll take you for a pint before dinner." So that's what I did. I picked James up on the way back from the car boot. We dropped the car home and then walked up to the local pub and had a nice few beers. And I did have a good find up the car boot today. Well, I think it was a good find anyway. It is a garage. It's called a Disco 80 and it's like two garage turntables in a big like wooden suitcase. It looks as if it's quite old, so it's like sort of a mobile DJ setup with two decks. So I am now, as James has been calling me, DJ Rattlesnake. Yeah, so it looks good, this garage thing, and it is in nice condition. And I only paid £15 for it, so I do think it was a bit of a bargain. The bloke knew nothing about it. He said he'd just bought a house and it had been left in the loft. So he knew nothing about it. I don't know nothing about it. I haven't looked it up or anything yet. I don't even know what model the two turntables are in it, but they are garage turntables. So that'll be coming to the channel soon. So I shall have that on here, going through it, trying to sort it out, because it does look really old and I don't think it's going to be working. So it will need sorting right out, but I like it. It was a really good find, and we're going boot fair tomorrow as well, because it's bank holiday this weekend. We have said we're going to go to a different boot fair tomorrow because there's another one on because it's bank holiday Monday. And James said he's going to come again, but he probably won't be up. So that's that board back in. All the screws are back in it. I've tightened them up. I'm just going round and just nipping them up, just checking they're all tight. And I'm being very careful tightening them screws up because that board is so fragile and brittle where it is old. You can easily crack it by over tightening the screws. I have done that before with these old boards. Right, so what should we put back in next? I think I'm going to put this back in next. This is speakers A and B and the headphone socket. And that goes down, slides into there, and that little metal bracket I showed you at the beginning, that goes behind that headphone piece to hold it into place. Just make sure the buttons are not caught. Now, that feels like it's seated nicely. So let's get a screw down in there. Put the screw on the end of my screwdriver and try and get it down in there. Oh, it's come off. The wires are in the way. So you're trying to do it at a right funny angle, so I won't do it like that. You might cross thread the screw. So let's get me little long nose pliers, put the screw into them. Then I'll be able to hold it nice and straight so it doesn't go cross threaded, and then screw it in. Yeah, that's better, that's gone in there nice. So just tighten that up, nip it up tight, and then I need that little metal bracket because it goes behind that little headphone piece there, and then it holds the headphone part in place, and it is holding that little board in place as well. So just put that on, and that wire needs to be underneath it. So move the wire down, that's it, put a little bracket on, get a screw and pop the little screw in, and then tighten it up, and that will be that board back in place. And that was the board that when I first took this amp apart, all the screws were loose in that, so all the speaker bits were rattly, and they feel much better now. That is in there nicely. Let's just check that, nip it up. Yeah, that's in there nice, 'cause that board was really rattly when I first got this amp. Someone must have had that board out for some reason and not put the screws back in properly, 'cause it was all loose. Right, so now that's back in, what shall we put in next? This bit here, that is the volume pot and the tone defeat and the loudness button on that board there. And that goes over this side, but I'm going to do this next. That is the on-off switch. So I need to get a bit of slack through the on-off switch. It wasn't working properly, that on-off switch. I've done it all with deoxit and it seems to be working really nice now. So I should clean this little button while it is out, because there's a bit of dust on it. Get the old Marantz looking its best. Right, so I'm not sure what way round this button goes. It looks like it goes on either way. It looks the same both sides. So let's try it like that. Pop that in. Right, it doesn't seem to want to seat properly like that. That button might actually be the wrong way round. Let's take it out. Let's turn that button round. Although it looks the same, it might be slightly different. Yeah, that's better. That went straight in there then. So let's get a couple of screws in it while I hold it in place. Get my screwdriver. Tighten that screw up. Right, and there's another screw on the other side of that. I might do this one with my pliers again. Let's get a screw in the pliers. It's just easier sometimes to use the little long nose pliers to hold the screw in place and then screw it in with a screwdriver. Yeah, that's gone in now. Tighten that one up. Check that one. Yeah, that's good. So that is the on-off switch back in. Let's make sure it's working properly. Yeah, that feels lovely now, because when I first got this amp, you could sort of push it in, but then it didn't want to come back out. So all that feels good. I can feel all them working. So let's get me brush and clean out the inside of these parts. And that is the loudness button and the tone defeat. And there's a bit of dust in there, so I'll get rid of that before I put the switches back in. Right, so now I think I'm ready to put the face back on this. Nice, happy days. The face of the Marantz is going back on, and I didn't damage anything, no cracks to that board or nothing. So this face has got like clips that hold it on along the bottom and clips at the sides. And again, these clips will be so brittle, I'm going to be really gentle with them because I do not want to break this face plate. Right, just line it up and then pull it back. Yeah, that felt like it went on then. Yeah, that is on there good. So I'm just going to put a couple of screws in the sides just to hold that faceplate on while I'm moving it about. And I just got a big waft of what them two are cooking out in the kitchen, and that chicken smells really nice. I've just started smelling it, so the chicken is cooking away nicely. Just put a screw in this side. It's only why I'm moving it about, because if, like I said, all this plastic is so brittle, so if I turn it round without a screw in it, I could quite easily break the clips on it. And that would be gutting, because this Marantz really is in good condition. And there's another one of these Marantz that finishes on the computer later tonight, and that one looks in really good condition, so I'm going to have a little bid on it. It's a PM-48, whereas this one is a 48. The one that finishes tonight is a 44, and it's a Mark II, so it looks a bit different to this one. And whereas this one is the normal version, the one on the computer tonight is an SE version, so it's the special edition. Now, it's not working, but it does look in really good condition, so I'm going to have a bid on it. But I might not get it because I only do cheeky low bids. And it's Sunday night, isn't it? And I do know Sunday night things make more money than any other night of the week, because everyone is on eBay bidding on a Sunday. But as the saying goes, you got to be in it to win it. So I will be in it, but as it's Sunday, I probably won't win it. So I've just cleaned the two little switches there, the tone defeat and the loudness button, gave them a little clean before I put them back in. So just get the wires in the right place and then put this part back together, and then happy days, the old Marantz is more or less back together then. Just put a few connectors on and she is ready to go. Oh no, I've got to put a plug on it yet, but that won't take long. So let's just slide this bit into place, and it's got like a little locating pin this side. That's on there now. So I should get the nut and the washer and put it on the volume pot on the other side, and it'll hold this bit in place before I put the screw in. It's just got the little nut and the washer, and they go round here on the front of that pot. Spin that up and then it should hold itself in place. Just nip it up tight. Yeah, that's gone, that's in place. So nice, the old Marantz has gone back together with no dramas, no broken clips, none of the boards have got broken. So happy days, the rebuild of the Marantz looks like it's going to be a success. Let's get that screw in here. Tighten that one up. That's it, nip that up tight. And then put all the connectors back on, and then the old Marantz just needs a power lead put on it, and she is ready to try. Yeah, that bolt's in there lovely. Let's put these connectors on. So that one pops in there. Little tiny one, fiddly that one, that pops in there. Oh, come on, butterfingers. Right, that one pops in there. These two went here, one that side, and there's another one somewhere here. That one goes down underneath that lot. Oh, hang on. Keep an eye on me, Ray. I'm jumping the gun here. There's an earth down here that I haven't done yet, so I need to do that earth before I put these connectors on, else I can't get to it. There's an earth goes on this little screw here at the bottom. While these earths are off, I shall give them a little clean up with a bit of sandpaper just to make sure they're making a good connection, they're not all dirty. Let's get a bit of sandpaper. Clean these little earth terminals, just make sure they're getting a good connection. They don't look dirty, but it doesn't hurt just to do this. Let's get the other one down there somewhere. Give that one a little clean. Clean the back of it. Right, so that's it, the earths are clean. I'll pop both of them back on. So just get the screw, put it through the two earths. Get me screwdriver. Get me screwdriver down there onto the little screw, line it up, and that just screws into the chassis and does the earth. So there you go, that is screwed in now, so just nip it up nice and tight. There you go, the earths are back on. So let's get this little connector here, and that threads down underneath everything and goes into this little block here. Push that in, lock it in, and then let's do this side. So you've got that little one there that goes into this little block here, little tiny one. And then there is one more block I can see there. So where does that one go? So let's have a look. Where does that one go? Right, this one goes down here. Just neaten them ones up a little bit. And this one comes over here and goes into that little block there. And now where's the little brown one? Hang on, I'm missing connectors. I should have one that goes in that little part there on the board. And a little brown one. Oh, I haven't trapped them behind the face, have I? Oh no, don't say I've got to take all that out to get the wires because I've put them behind the board. I just can't see them. There's two wires missing. There's a little brown connector that goes on the big board at the bottom. And then there's a little 3-pin connector that goes up the top there. All the others are back on. Oh, so where have they gone? Oh, I'm an idiot. Keep an eye on me, Ray. Ray, I said keep an eye on me. I am an idiot. And stop laughing, Michael. You can see what I've done wrong, innit, mate? And I bet loads of you can. I bet loads of you are shouting at the telly now, saying, what an idiot. He hasn't even put the balance pot back in. Yes, all right, very funny. I forgot to put the balance pot in. That is where my two missing wires are. And I should have put it in before I put that volume board back in. So now it's either going to be really awkward to put in, or I've got to take that volume part back out. So you can all stop shouting at the telly now. I do know that I am an idiot, and I do know that there is a moral to this story, and the moral is Do not go to the pub for a few cheeky pints before rebuilding a Marantz PM-48 amplifier, because if you do, you just might forget to put the balance pot back in. So I've just give the faceplate a little clean over with me cloth. And it's nice, the faceplate on this Marantz. It is in nice condition. And I've just thought of another reason why it is not a good idea to go to the pub before doing one of these amplifiers. And that is that halfway through you need to pause the video and go to the toilet. Right, so I'm back, and I did wash my hands, Ray. So let's see if I can get that balance bit in without taking the volume bit out. Yeah, I think I can. It'd be easier if I lift the amp up like that and put something underneath it. And I did check on the chefs while I went to the toilet, and dinner is ready in half hour, so I better crack on. So what have I got to wedge under this amp? Right, I'll use my little Spider-Man pot. Right, Spider-Man, hold that up, mate. So let's get the balance pot with the two missing wires on it. And it was doing me head in where them wires were, 'cause I was looking, I was thinking, what have I done with them wires? And the only thing I could think of is that I'd put them behind that board and screwed it on. So I was happy to remember that I'd forgot the balance pot. So let's get the screws back in it, and then disaster is avoided. So I did think for a moment I was going to have to take a load of it apart again to get this in, but I haven't. It's gone in no problem. Let's tighten that one up, and then there's one more screw. If I can find it, here it is. Oh, and I really need to get a better magnetic screwdriver. This one is a bit rubbish. Or I need to get a magnet in here, because the other thing you can do is charge your screws up on a magnet, and then when you put them on your screwdriver they will stick to it so much better. So that's what I need to do. I need to find a little magnet to charge the old screws up. Right, that's in. Nip that one up. Right, that's it. Balance pot is in. And thanks for your help, Spider-Man. I couldn't have done it without you, mate. So let's get the camera in there and I'll show you what I've just done. Down there, that is the balance pot, and they are the two little screws that I've just fitted in now. And look at that. As if by magic, the two missing wires have just miraculously appeared. So let's pop that one back in there before it gets lost again. And then this little brown one goes down here. So that's it. I think it's just the power lead to fit, and the old Marantz is back together. So I'm just going to go round it and check that all the connectors I've had out have been pushed in and locked in properly. Because when I first got this amplifier, quite a few of them was hanging out. So I'm just going to check them all, make sure they are all in there. Yeah, they're all in there good. One's at the back of the transformer, and one of them ones was hanging out when I first got it. They're in there nice and tight. Yeah, that's it. Let's have a little check about. The earth's on, nice and tight. So that's all looking good in there. It's all gone back together nicely. So let's put the camera back onto my tripod, and then I shall stand it up on each side and put the other screws back in the bottom of the faceplate. Hold that in properly, because there's like 6 screws that go along the bottom on the underside of that faceplate there. So let's take Spider-Man out, stand the amp up on its sides, and put the screws in the bottom here. Bzzz, 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 bzzz. so that's all the screws back in. Let's lay it down. Let's give the front a little clean. Get the old Marantz looking its best, eh? Let's just put a little bit of polish on my cloth. Give it a little clean. And then I'll put the knobs back on it. So it needs. Little wipe over. Get the dust out there. Get me brush, just clean a bit of dust out of in there because I can't get in there with me cloth. Clean them up. Right, let's put the knobs on. Right, so I shall give the knobs a little clean and then pop them on. So that's the first one on. Let's get another one, give it a little clean. Pop that one on. Third one, give it a little clean. Pop that one on. And then the last one to go on the balance. So let's get the last little knob, give it a nice little clean, and then pop it on the balance. And then this volume one, I'm going to give it a little spray with some polish, because it looks like it's got paint or something on it. There's like blue bits on it. So I don't know if someone painted their house blue and got some splashes on this volume knob. But it's coming off. Just give it a nice polish. Yeah, that's coming off. So I think it was like blue emulsion where someone's decorated their house and got some over the volume knob. But that's come off now. That volume knob's looking lovely. So let's pop it on. And just look at that, the front of this Marantz, it is mint condition, this Marantz, it really is. Considering this is from 1996, it's just lovely, the front of this amplifier. Right, so last thing to do is do this power cord. Now I'm just going to test this power cord before I put a plug on it, just to make sure it's not got no damage anywhere. So get me tester. Yeah, my tester's working. So I'll just test through both leads, make sure they're making a good connection. So let's do that one. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's do that one. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Now all I'm going to do now is put them both probes on these ends, and if the needle doesn't move, I know that lead is good. There is no short circuit going on in it, and there's not. That's perfect. So let's put a plug on that lead because I'm happy with that. And I'm putting a new plug on it because the old plug was a proper bodge. I'll show you it, look. So it's like a 2-pin plug with a UK plug put on it, and it's all rattly, it's all loose, so I just chopped it off because I was not having that bodge job of a plug anywhere near my lovely Marantz. So I've got a nice plug here to put on it. This is a decent plug. So let's just bend the neutral round, pop it into there, get my screwdriver and tighten that up. Neutral fitted. So I'll just get me pliers and I'm going to strip that brown back a little bit more and then bend it over because it needs to be shorter than the blue. Strip a little bit off of it. Give it a twist. Bend it over. Pop that into there. And then tighten the screw up nice and tight. Just check the one on the neutral. Give them a good tighten up. Always make sure your plug is really tight. There you go. That's a nice fitted plug. I always check the one on the earth as well. Even though there is no wire in there. Just tighten it up just in case the screw falls out and goes inside the plug. So let's just tighten the little clamp up, holds it in place. And you only need to do this clamp up just until it grips the lead. Do not tighten it right up like that idiot did on my Hit Parade receiver, because he cut through the lead, he done it so tight. So let's just pop the top on, and now the Marantz has got a nice decent plug fitted on it. So tighten that up, job done. So let's put the lead back onto the amplifier, and that goes that way round, locks on, and then this little clip here just goes into the back panel. Right, so last job to do. I'll get my tester, and I've got a different fuse to put back in this Marantz, because the one I took out of it was dodgy, but I'm just going to test this one, make sure it's good before I put it in there. Yeah, look, that's good. Straight up and holds up. So that is a good fuse. Not like that one I took out, because the one I took out, the needle went up and then wiggled all about because the fuse was not very good. So let's pop the good fuse back into the amp. And that's it. Job done with this one. That is all back together now, I think. Apart from the lid going on. But I'm going to power this up and that first before I put a lid on it. Because the lid is awkward to take off. You have to move the front panel to release it and that. I'm going to test this one and try it with the lid off. And then if there still is any problems with it, I haven't got to mess around taking the lid off again. But if it works, then I shall put the lid on. So let's just get the camera, and I'm just going to run through this just to make sure it is all back. Right, connection's all good, boards are tight. It's all looking good. Down there, that board's nice and screwed in where it was rattly and really loose. Transformer connections are in nice where they wasn't. On-off switch bolted back properly. Power lead is on good. That lead from the on-off switch is on good. Fuse is in nice. Connectors nicely back on. So yeah, I think we are looking good to plug this Marantz in and see what happens. All the connectors I've had off look like they're all nicely back on. So you know what, I'm going to go for it with this one. I'm going to plug it in and turn it on, and hopefully there will not be a big bang, a flash or a load of smoke. And I'm changing my tune, because at the beginning I said I'm going to give this Marantz a 50-50 chance of working. But I'm going to up that to a 70-30, because an Englishman, after he has been to the pub, really can fix anything. Ain't that right, Michael? And you watch now, I'm going to plug this in and a massive load of smoke's going to come out of it. Oh, I do hope not. So let's put the camera back on the tripod and let's plug it in and see what happens. Now I'm changing my mind back. I'm going to give it a 50-50. Right, let's get the plug. Get my little power pack that's down here. Plug it in. Turn my power pack on. Right, no flashes so far, but I haven't turned it on yet. Let's get the camera back off, eh? Let's get you right in now. If it's going to blow up, it'll blow up on all of us. And then you lot at home can all laugh together while I have a little cry. Because I really like this Marantz. I really have bonded with it. So, drum roll please. Oh, look at that. Power, power. Happy days, the Marantz has got power. Look at that, Ray. See, man on beer can fix anything. And it's got lights up there. Phono. Yeah, look. Look, the old Marantz is going like a good un. Oh, no way. The Marantz looks like it's working well. It hasn't had sound coming out of it, but it is lighting up. Turn it off, and I heard a click. When I turned it on, it did click. Right, so let's do it again. Power on, click. Yeah, she went click. The Marantz is kicking into life. I swear she is. Right, so let's turn it off. And what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to do a DC offset on this one because I know that a bodger has been in here, so I want to test it before I put speakers on it. Right, so both speaker buttons are on, so it's on both sets of speakers to work. That's how I want it. So let's turn it round, power it back up, and now I need to leave it for 10 minutes to warm up, just like that. Right, so I'm back, and I checked on the chefs, and dinner is ready in about 5 minutes. But they're going to delay it a little bit to give me a chance to finish the video. I said, give me 10 minutes and I'll be with you, so let's hurry up. Right, the tester's working, so I've put it on DC milliamps. Now, this tester isn't the best tester to do this with, but it's all I've got, and I have been told that with this tester, doing this test, if the needle moves a tiny bit, that's okay. If it goes up a little way, then I've got a problem, but if it doesn't move, I'm fine. So let's put it in the first one. Right, that needle never moved, not at all. Same with that one. It might have moved the tiniest little bit, that needle, but not enough to worry about. Let's do that one. Yeah, again, it's just moving a tiny little bit, and I've been told that is fine with this tester. If it went up like 2 or 3 mil, then I've got a bit of a problem. But that tiny little bit, that is no problem whatsoever. So it looks like the Marantz is alright. So I'm going to put speakers on this Marantz and see if we can get any sound out of it. So let's move my tester out of the way. And let's turn the Marantz off. And then I'll get some speakers down and connect some speakers up to it. So I should use these little Sonys because they have already got speaker cables connected to them. So that's the first one connected. Let's grab down another one and connect that one up. Just put it on the table. Let's connect that one up. Right, so that is 2 speakers connected up to the back of the amp. And it's exciting for me, this part, because I've had this Marantz just sitting in my room for probably 2 or 3 months. So it's really good to be actually testing it out to see if I can get any sound out of it. So let's turn it round so you can see the front. And then all I need to do is plug my CD player into the back, push play on the CD player, and then we shall find out whether the old PM-48 is working or not. And if it is working, I might celebrate and buy that one that is on there later tonight. Because if this one's working, I might treat myself to the PM-44. Well, as long as it doesn't make too much money, because one of them not working, it's not worth a lot, is it? Right, so the Arkham CD player is plugged into the back. So let's get the camera again, and we shall go to my CD player, turn it on, press play, and see what happens. And I'm going to be really happy if we get sound out of this one, because like I said, I'm still giving it a 50-50. And what you going to give it, Mr. Yates? Alright, Michael, don't be like that. I only had 3 points, mate. Alright, 4 points. I forgot about that cheeky little one at the end. Right, so all systems are go. Let's see what happens. Turn it on. Wait for the click. There's the click. Right, so let's see if Nina can kick some life into the old Marantz. Oh, here we go, here we go. Look at that. I need to change the name of the channel to Man on Beer Fixes. And no way, I am a bit shocked that this one is working. So the balance on that side. Yeah, lovely. Balance on the other side. Yeah, look at that, both channels singing like Mr. Muddy down the karaoke bar on a Saturday night. So happy days, by the look of it, the old Marantz is back in action, and that's sounding pretty decent actually. So let's have both channels. And you can join me if you want, because I am having a little celebration dance on the sofa. So that's it, the old Marantz is working. So I'm going to go and have dinner now, and then I'm going to put the lid on it, tidy up my table, and spend the afternoon with my missus and James, and having a few more cheeky beers and testing out the Marantz. So thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button, and I shall see you next time.